him and really spend some time and soak up all the mentoring and all the knowledge you can, because this is definitely Organogold's next diamond. This gentleman, I had the true pleasure of meeting him at one of our events when I first started, and I tell you that the impact that he made, and the example that he allowed me to see has been absolutely, it's been big for me. He set such a high standard, and people will rise to your level of expectation. But this gentleman is a true servant leader, just a warm heart. He is truly an example for so many people to see. He's leading a huge organization out in Tracy, California, and really all over the world. His team is international and growing by leaps and bounds every single day. He is helping so many families right now becoming financially free, lending the helping hand, and it does not even matter if you are a part of his personal organization or not. He is truly a servant leader by every sense of the word, and he's absolutely getting it done. Just so smoothly this past month and going diamond this month, but I want to bring to the forefront my friend, my business partner, a mentor to me in this business, and a wonderful example, Mr. StephenVRichardson. Sir, how are you doing?
I have, Miss Quinones. Can you hear me? Well, thank you very much for hosting this call, and thank you for those kind words. Thanks for all that you do, and I have no regrets of anything I've done up to this point in my life, and I'm so happy and thankful to be part of your success team. Yes, it'd be nice if we were in the same geographic region so we could get together and spend some quality time. It is absolutely amazing how little time we've actually spent in the same room spending some quality time together. You could round it off to maybe a couple of fingers on one hand, but there's just some connection that you can have, ladies and gentlemen, with people who are on the same path and have the same desires and have the same goals. And that's why that I know that both of us will be in the Diamond Club, living the number one lifestyle in the world. And I cannot wait to hear your story shared from the big stage. So I'm just so proud of you, and thank you for hosting this call. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Wow, wow, wow. What to talk about today? I got the call last night, spoke with my man, my mentor, my sponsor, my spiritual advisor, Mr. Silas Blue Diamond King, and he allowed me the privilege of speaking on this call, training on this call, sharing, really talking to myself as I look at myself in the mirror on this call. And I really give a lot of thought to what to share with you because, once again, when I'm given the opportunity to lead this call, especially on a Monday morning coming after a millionaire mentorship call, there's really not much more to be said. It's just time to get to work. So many people on Monday morning, that's the first thing on their mind, going to work, getting to work, doing their work, thinking about work. And the work of Organo Gold is to share. And it's funny because I didn't even write that word down, but I guess that's where I'm going to be taking this morning is share. That's all that we do. All we do is share. We share coffee, green tea, hot chocolate with coffee, green tea, and hot chocolate drinkers. We share information. We share information and we share coffee. That's all that we do. And the question that I have to always get back to is not only how badly do you want this, and this is different for each and every one of us because it's not really why you joined. And I ask that question a lot, and that's the initial question that you really should ask every single person is why would you even consider to be a part of this? Because obviously you're very busy. You have things going on with your work, maybe with your school, definitely with your family, other things going on. The initial question is, why would you join this? Why did you join this? But the question for probably everyone on this phone is, why are you still here? Why are you still here? Because why you're still here is probably different than why you joined. Or at least it's become more, I don't know, just more meaningful for you. Because some of us have been in this for about a minute. Some of us have been in here since the very beginning. When you talk way back in the day, even way back in the day, it's not earlier than 2009 because I was there the day that all this began with regards to our individual organization. November 15th, 2009. Why are you still here? Why do you continue to hop onto calls? Why do you continue to order product? Why do you continue to go to event after event after event after event? Why do you continue to put up with all the things that you put up with? No shows and people lying to you and people telling you to do things. Why do you do that? There has to be a reason behind that. But that reason on why you're still here probably is not enough yet. Because if it was enough yet, you would have done more by now. So anytime you're going to think something negative, speak something negative, it may believe something negative, you always want to use the past tense. So whatever was holding us back up until the time we called into this call, that's behind us now. Now's the time to look at why we're still here. There are people on this phone who, let's just say, haven't followed the 4 steps consistently. Let's be kind. They haven't ordered enough product to fuel the growth of their business. They haven't really even submitted a testimony. They have not had enough product to attract that person who they pass by. That could be the person who makes the initial difference in their business. There are people on this phone who still have not made a complete list and gone through that list at least once to ask some people if they will be willing to support them at least once by buying 1 box of great tasting, healthier coffee that costs $1 to $1.50 a cup that can improve their life. They haven't made a list of people to at least ask them if they're open enough to get some information, to make an educated decision, to decide if they want to be a part of something. They haven't even scheduled 4 coffee and jazz mixers in a single week. Not even once. There are some people on this phone up to this point who have not attended every event in a week. Whether it was the wake-up call, the coffee break call, the weekly mixer in your area, the weekly training, haven't even done that in 1 week, but they're still here. And it just fascinates me. Maybe it's the entertainment factor. Maybe it's just like the habit, just like some of you turn on the news when you walk into the house or turn on the TV, just the entertainment factor. It keeps your attention. Maybe even makes you smile from time to time. But the difference between entertainment and learning is whether or not you take what you saw and actually do something with it. So not how badly do you want this, why are you still here? And if you're still here for a reason, like maybe you want to repay your wife who's been loyal to you, who has always supported you, who's been the mother of your children, who's worked hard and sacrificed and deserves so much more than even she's being given now. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's the fact that you have a mother that not only brought you into this world, but has loved for you and cared for you and sacrificed for you and given to you and just looks into your eyes, and no matter what she's going through, no matter what's going on in her life, and there's a lot of stuff going on, her number one concern is how her baby's doing today. And you want to give back to her. You not only want, and you know that she doesn't want stuff. She doesn't want things. She doesn't want trips. All she wants is her baby to be happy. And if you're talking in the background, if you're talking right now especially on the back line, if you're talking on the back line, then feel free to hang up, because you've just indicated that this is not your time. That's okay. It's okay. Because one of the things I wrote down earlier today was priorities. And it's not about time management, it's about priority management. And if you have news on in the background, or television on the background, or conversations going on, or something else going on, what you're saying is that is more important than what this call potentially could do for you. Is it possible that somebody on this phone, and you didn't know who was going to talk this morning, is it possible that someone on this phone could share something that could improve your life, if not change your life forever? Is it possible? Is it possible that Oregano Gold is the vehicle to take you to go in the quickest and simplest way possible? Is that possible? And if it's not only possible, but if you believe it's true, if you know it's true like I do, then there's nothing else going on between 7 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time that is more important than this. Not the news, not another conversation, not a text, not an email, not a Facebook blast, not anything, because what we are doing is we are focusing on the short term to have the long term. So the question is, why are you here? Why are you still in this business? Why did you hop on this call? And if you hopped on this call just to listen in to see what was going to be shared, then you're missing something, because as we're taught going into a major event, and for the record, this call is a major event for the day. Just like the coffee break call is the next major event. Just like the opportunity call in a few hours is the next major event. Just like your next sit-down presentation, just like your next weekly meeting, your next weekly training, just like Mr. Let's see who's coming in. Oh my goodness, California's on fire. We have Miss Taria Avant herself coming into Northern California this week. We have Mr. Edward Hartley coming in the following week. Mr. Cosmos McGinley is going to be here this weekend. We have Mr. Holton Bugs himself possibly giving the last training of his career of this kind will be in Northern California on the 28th. We have all these things coming up, and if it is not at the top of your priority list, all that means is something is more important to you right now. And you just have to decide. And if you're making a conscious decision that sleep is more important, or television is more important, or school is more important, our work is more important, our paying this bill is more important, or if you're saying that, that's okay. That just means this is not your time. So where was I? Is the fact that you're still here, does it mean maybe it's because that you've always loved your father, you've always respected your father, you've always looked for approval for your father, but you really want him to be proud of you, not for your effort, but for your accomplishments? Maybe that's why you're still here, whether your father is still physically in this world or not. Is it the reason why you're here because you realize there's so much more left in you? There's so much more that you could do, not only for yourself, not only for your family, not only for your community, but for the world. Is that why you're still here? Is that why you hopped on this call? You have to search deep down inside on why you're here. And you need to remind yourself of that. There's a reason why we ask these questions in the very beginning, but many people have only asked it, if at all, once. We need to continue to ask ourselves over and over and over again, why are we still here? Why did we join? What do we want to get out of this experience? And if your answer is anywhere similar to my answer, or Ms. Quinones' answer, or Mr. Mickens' answer, or Katie from Modesto's answer, or all the people who are on this call's answer, then it's time to get to work. It's time to get to work. Here's what I used to do. In the very beginning, I treated this like a hobby. Hey, I was still doing okay, pretending to be successful. Now I was successful. I was good at what I did. I definitely looked good doing what I was doing. And I was helping people. And I was getting by. And I found out about this little coffee thing from this man I barely knew. But it was just something about him, something about this opportunity that caught my attention. And yeah, in the back of my mind I said, let me just give this thing a try. And I treated it like a hobby. Who knows, hobbies don't pay very much. If you treat this like a hobby, like I'll do it here, I'll do it there. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. If whatever, that's not a big deal. Let me invest, let me pay a little bit of money. If you're paying a little bit of money, it's a hobby. If you're making an investment that you expect a return on, then maybe it's a business. So the first thing that I was doing, and this was for months and months and months, and don't misinterpret a lot of activity for you treating it anything more than a hobby. Because some people spend a lot of time on their hobbies. It could be shining a motorcycle. It could be working on the internet. It could be doing whatever you really love to do. But as Warren Buffett said, just because you love something and that's your passion, that's not where you're going to get wealthy. That's not where you're going to make your money. You get money in the best business opportunity, we'll say it, the best business at the time. That's where you'll make your money. You'll have the most fun, typically, in your hobby. Now, if you can combine the two, then life is really good. But I treated it as a hobby. And then I said, no. Let me treat this like a job. Because I was told if I treat it like a job, then it's all good. Because if I do it consistently, and if I put in the effort, then it'll be all good. But here's the thing. Most people do not give their all for their jobs. So I was treating it like a job, which means I was for all practical purposes, I was going through the motions. I was focusing on activity as opposed to results. So I was going to the meetings, I was doing some stuff, I was helping some people, I was clocking in and clocking out, but it was just a job. How many people know that the people who work for a job typically are not doing their best? Rarely, if ever. They're not doing their best. That's the whole reason why having a business with employees is not the most efficient business model, because those people are just going through the motions, most of them. So I went through this phase of treating this like a job. Now, if you are great at your job, not only work hard and consistently do the activity, but have high results, then you have permission to treat this like a job. But if you're not the top performer, top income earner, best recommendations or evaluations, then my recommendation is maybe you should not treat this like most of your jobs to this point. And then I made this final transition to treat this like the multi-million-dollar business that it is. We need to treat this like a business, because that's what this is. A business that, regardless of how you got started, could, should, and will change your life and the path that your family and generations are on forever. So why are you here? How are you treating this business? How are you prioritizing your life? You're on this call, which means, for the record, teachability index, you probably have a willingness to learn at this point. Teachability index, for those of you who remember, is your willingness to learn multiplied by your willingness to change. All right, so you're willing to learn enough to hop on a call at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 Central, 11 on the East Coast. That's, you're willing to learn this. Are you willing to learn enough to go to your weekly meeting every single week until you get free? Are you willing to learn enough to plug in with your plugged-in upline and get counsel even when you know you didn't do what you were supposed to do or what you were taught to do? Are you willing to learn enough to go to every single major event? If you're in Northern California, April 28th is not an option. If I find out that someone is not going to see the number 2, soon to be number 1 income earner in the entire world, a multi-millionaire maker, he's not, we don't even call him a millionaire anymore. That's been there, done that. Multi, don't have enough time to multi. Millionaire maker, somebody who was the catalyst of everything that's happening right now, put together the 4 steps, created this from the ground level, went out there and inspired and led and did it on faith and on desire and on belief, and has helped countless people already improve their lives, and have helped those who see this for what it is do what they've been able to do. And he's coming to Northern California. I mean, you really should get on a plane to see Mr. Holton Buggs for 4 to 5 hours training possibly for the last time ever. Because rumor has it he's going to focus on the corporate side now that he's maxed out the pay plan. This may be the last time he ever actually gives this type of training. Ever. Ever. And you can say you were in the room, not only to hear him, not only to take a picture with him, but to witness what was possibly the last time he's ever done a training of this kind. So if you're in flying distance, driving distance, if you have the ability to be in that room, and yet sold out, because this is not only year of the sellout, this is the company of the sellout. Yeah, it's already sold out, but tickets are still available if you want it badly enough. If I discover that something's going on, hey, maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's a graduation, and maybe it's just taking your time off, maybe it's work, maybe it's something else. But if you can't be there, all that means is you don't want this badly enough, and that's okay. But I must spend my time, I must invest my time with people who want this, not even as badly as I want this, because there aren't that many people out there, but people who want their dreams badly enough to have their actions congruent with their stated goals. And if you have this man taking time out of his busy schedule to come into your market, and this example of Mr. Buggs, it's the same thing as Mr. Mickens giving a presentation. It's the same thing as Ms. Quinones giving a training. It's the same thing as Mr. Roberson having a conference call. Because for most people who don't have the privilege of even having Mr. Buggs know your name, your local leader is your Holton Buggs. You need to realize that. Loyalty, unity, edification. Loyalty, unity, edification. Are you edifying people? Are you edifying events? Are you edifying coffee? Are you edifying it to the level that people at least understand that you believe in this and that they should see value in this even if they don't understand it yet? We've talked about inviting a little bit, and some people would say a lot, but it really is not enough. But inviting is really no more than edifying. It's really no more than lifting up and allowing that sample of coffee, allowing that conference call, allowing that meeting, allowing that event, allowing that three-way call, allowing your senior business partner to do their job. That's really all inviting is edifying. It's all it is edifying, but edifying is everything. Everything. You must become a master edifier. I don't think I'll call it inviting anymore. Only time I'll use the word inviting is to help people understand what I'm really talking about. Ms. Quinones did an amazing job of edifying me. There are people on this call who possibly had never heard my voice before. Or maybe they forgot, I won't say who I am, but what I potentially could bring to the table. Do you understand? How do you feel right now about Mr. Holton Buggs? If you knew that he was going to walk through your door wherever you were, or maybe even just give you a call, you'd be nervous, you'd be excited, you'd feel thankful that this person would be willing, out of the hundreds of thousands of people in this organization, all the people he could talk to, he's going to talk to you. How would you feel about that? And you'd feel that way because somebody has edified him. If it was, you haven't seen his bank account, you haven't seen what he's really been able to do, all you've done is you've heard about it from somebody. Appreciate the power of edification. Loyalty, unity, edification. Appreciate the power of edification, because when you do, it's game over. But in order to appreciate that, you must be able to speak it in the first place. This is the world's greatest, biggest business on this planet. Are you speaking that? Because first of all, it's true, but are you speaking that? There's no bigger industry. We've created nothing's created more wealth than this industry, than any industry in the entire world since the late 70s. So anybody who looks at you cross-eyed, anybody who doesn't give you the respect you deserve, they don't understand. They don't know what they don't know. So you have to speak that. You have to speak that there's no better product than coffee for this industry. You have to speak that there's no better product as far as helping your body than Ganoderma, coming from the earth, 100% certified organic. But you have to speak this in order to think it. You have to think it in order to believe it. You have to believe it in order to do it. And if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. And you're going to have a front row seat to the biggest business that passed you by. So your willingness to learn, you get a check for the day because you're on this call. And you're still on this call. But you can have a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, as far as your willingness to learn. If your willingness to change is a 0, then all we've done today is entertain you. All Mr. Haynes did last night was entertain you if you didn't take anything he said and actually put it into place. Took notes, edified him without him even knowing it by taking notes and reviewing your notes and doing that and speaking about it and sending people to the recorded call for them to hear that. If you hear something or learn something and don't do anything, you might as well have not done it. Just go to the video store and get entertained with something else. Because while we are pleasured to entertain you, we are not entertainers. We're looking for some people to help. Your willingness to learn, your willingness to change. Are you willing to change your schedule for the 28th of this month to attend Mr. Bug's event? Are you willing to change what you had your finances all set up for at the end of May? There's no excuse for anybody who knows anything to not be in Dallas on the 26th and 27th. If you don't, all that means it's not your time yet. If you didn't immediately get a ticket for yourself, let alone enough tickets for at least a few people on your team, then that means you don't get it yet. And there's still time, but time is running out. Loyalty, unity, edification. How are you prioritizing your life? If you're spending your time frustrated, all that means is you're not working on enough personal development, because you're not speaking this is it. You're not speaking I don't need them, they need me. You're not speaking the right words. Prioritize your life. Have you prioritized your list? That's from the very beginning of Cash Cow, right? Building the list and prioritizing it. If you're chasing people, begging them to pre-sell their way in at the bronze pack, maybe you haven't prioritized who you're targeting. I'm not saying don't speak to people. I'm saying if you're going to target somebody, why not target somebody who's a self-starter, who's teachable and coachable, who's a center of influence, who has the means of getting started? Why not target that person? If for no better reason, because that's what a millionaire maker told you to do. When you look at someone, when you're in the mall, when you're on the street, when you're looking at your list, are you thinking, hey, is this person at least 25 years or older? Are they married? Do they have kids? Are they a homeowner? Do they make at least $40,000? Are you thinking that? Because if you're not, you are not prioritizing who you are targeting well enough. And if you do not do every single thing that Mr. Holton Buggs or Mr. Bernard Chu or Mr. Shea Moran, Mr. David MTA, Mr. Silas, if you are not doing exactly what they tell you to do, all that means is your teachability index is not high enough to get this thing done. But more importantly, it means that you have de-edified them by not following their instructions. This is the wake-up call. Wake up. I love each and every one of you. Many of you I haven't met yet. But I love each and every one of you. We're talking on a device. We have people in California, in Texas, in Maryland, in Virginia, in Massachusetts, all over North America. And we're talking into a piece of whatever, and we are hearing each other real time. How in the world is that possible? We take that for granted, but we won't follow 4 simple steps to get our families free. Or at least we didn't do that up until this point. You know, this is a feel-good call, yes. It's also a wake-up call. Wake up! And for the record, I love all of you. who say you're going somewhere. You're going sapphire, you're going ruby, you're going emerald, you're going diamond. I appreciate that, but I also have heard on more than one occasion from diamonds and above that you can't be going somewhere, because if you're going somewhere, you're going to be going there your entire life. That's why we are taught to say Stephen Emerald Richardson, not Stephen going Emerald Richardson, because if I speak, then I'm going somewhere. I'm going to be going there my entire life. Be careful of your words. Be very careful of your words. That's it. I'm done. I had more things to say, but that's all I had to say this morning. It is the 9th of the month. Every single person in this organization has the ability to achieve their goals this month. Massive, massive action. Following the 4 simple steps. How about everybody get their dual team this week? Whether you've been in the business, whether you already have your dual, whether you just got started, whether you're actually a guest on this call, get your dual within the next 48 hours. And for those leaders out there, I had the opportunity to attend a Ruby and Above meeting after the meeting with Mr. Samuel Bean and Mr. Ramon Fulcher this past weekend. And here's a golden nugget for you. For those of you who just think I'm entertaining you all this time, let me give you some nuts and bolts. Let me give you one phrase to say that could and should change your entire organization. It's how to help somebody get their dual team right away. You ready? All right, here it goes. Who do you know right now who'd be willing to sit down with me and allow me to share this information with you on their behalf, with them on your behalf, and who'll get started just because it's you? Let me say that again. Who do you know right now who knows, trusts, and respects you, who'll be willing to sit down or talk with me and share this information on your behalf, and who'll get started just because it's you? How many times do you ask, who do you know, in a given day? And if it's not every single interaction you have, then you're not saying it enough. Who do you know? Who do you know who could benefit from hearing this information? Who do you know who drinks coffee? Who do you know who supports you by buying at least one box of great tasting, healthier coffee at $1 a cup? Who do you know who works hard? Who do you know who has a family? Who do you know who still has dreams and goals? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Say that over and over and over again. Ask that over and over and over again, and watch what happens. Say, who do you know, to someone who says, I'm not feeling this, don't even want to hear the information. Hey, no problem. I understand that. I can't say I respect it, because you're not basing that decision on information. But hey, I appreciate you don't want to see this right now. Hey, by the way, who do you know who could benefit from hearing about this? There has to be somebody. Really? Wow. Do you realize that Mr. Cosmos Magembe is in Organo Gold because Mr. L.G. Young asked his pastor to get into this business, and he said no, and Mr. L.G. Young asked a very simple question: Pastor, who do you know? ... And that pastor led him to a carpet cleaner in Dallas. You think that was a worthwhile use of his time, asking a pastor who was not interested in improving his life or his congregation's life, asking that pastor, who do you know? Who do you know? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and close out this call. I'm going to allow 3 leaders, if they want to speak, but please do me a favor. Do not de-edify this call by training. Just say something or don't say something, but keep it very short. Do we have any leaders on the back line who have something to share very, very briefly? I can hear you loud and clear, sir. Take it away.
Yeah, I just want to, take a minute here and thank you for the awesome thing you did this morning. I always admire you because, the drop of a dime, you can always come on the phone and give us exactly the nuggets that we need, to take our business to the next step. Also, I think Ms. Stephen Keona, she does an awesome job, like you said, always, always edifying. She's a perfect edifier. And just want to let you guys know how much I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Going Emerald with me this month. Thank you so much. Any other leads on the back line have something to share very briefly? Alrighty then. Thank you very much, everybody. Go out there and get this thing done. This works. It works. This industry works. This company works. The 4 steps work. It works. If you do. If you work. So go out there. Have a great day. Hop onto the coffee break call at the bottom of the hour. Go out there and share. Share coffee. Share information. Share some love. Ask who do you know. Loyalty, unity, edification. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.